hope you enjoy this short sequence to improve circulation of the hips and pelvis. You might find it useful for reducing irritation or discomfort associated with excessive activity or, on the other hand, lack of movement. Thanks for joining me. We're going to begin seated on the long edge of our mat. Feet will be wide. We're going to work a little adaptation of wiper blades. So we want to make sure we're lifted up through the spine with us. We don't want to be collapsed. So you're going to press through your hands to help lift through the spine and elongate. So as you're ready, you're going to just release from side to side, connecting to the breath. Exhale to the center, then inhale as you come to the side. Exhale, center. Inhale to the side. Now you can continue with this, or if you'd like, you can update it a little bit or upgrade it to stretching further down the front of your hip joint, as well as opening up through the side body and torso. So you decide, either you're going to create this lift or keep the hips to the floor. The next time we come around on the lift, let's stay for a couple of breaths. You can even bow out the side bodies. Release your gaze to any position that's comfortable for you. One more breath. And then release over to the other side. Lifting up. Breathing all along into that right side. Feel the stretch all the way down to the front of the knee. And release down. Good. We're going to come to a seated position. If it's comfortable for you just to sit in this easy sit position, or you could have the legs stretched out if that feels better for you. But anyways, we're going to leave the hips firm to the floor, so kind of grounded down into your mats. And then we're going to circle the torso around. So we're still getting a little stretch through the hips, but also the low back, because you can't avoid that connection of the low back into the hips. Sometimes it's low back pain that's creating malalignment through our hips, and vice versa. Sometimes it's the tight hips that's straining the low back. So just going around. I did switch sides, but let's switch again. So maybe about 4 circles in one direction, 4 in the opposite direction. And then coming back through center. I'm going to stretch the legs out into this V shape, using the fingertips behind the back body to help lift the hips, realign your spine, finding that inner edge of your sit bones, and also to help press through, to elongate through the spine and create space. So we're going to alternate side stretching. So we're going to exhale over to the right, inhaling center, long exhale towards the left, inhaling center, and more to the right, and inhale up, exhale left. Next time we get over to the right side, we're going to stay for a couple breaths. Releasing and pressing through your feet and legs. They're active here to help root down through the back of the legs into the hips. Opening up the left side of your body. Take your gaze down towards your right knee. 2 more breaths. From here, we're just going to rotate over that right knee. It's as if our chest was going to touch the right thigh, or at least pointed in that direction. Make sure you're active through that left side to help root down. And then we're just going to stay low, leave the torso low, and just walk your hands towards center. And then walk your hands back up to lengthen through the spine. And exhale when you're ready over to the other side. So this is our side stretch for a few breaths. Gazing down towards the left knee, stretching through the right leg, Another breath. And then we're going to rotate over that extended left leg, hand on either side of the leg. And it's the breastbone that points towards the thigh. Making sure you're not clenching the jaw or any of the facial muscles, soft through the face and neck. Walking the hands back through center. Torso is low, and then walk your hands back up. Take a breath in here. And when you're ready, you're going to exhale, contract those lower abdominals to help fold forward to any position that's comfortable. We'll be here for a couple of breaths. Feeling the stretch through the inner thigh, down through the inner knee. One more breath. Great, and we'll walk the hands back. Draw your legs together. We're going to come up to all fours to work a few hip circles. So on all fours, you're going to the wrists underneath your shoulders. And you're going to lift through this right leg, and you're going to take 3 or 4 circles forward. The hip lifted as high as is comfortable for you. And then take your circles in the opposite direction back. One more time. And then stretch the right leg straight back and cross it over that left foot. Here we're going to require some additional abdominal strength, some core strength to help lift this leg off to the side. When you're ready to exhale, ensure that you've got your lower abdominals engaged. Exhale, and the leg comes up to the side body. And then releasing back. Inhaling. Exhale, engaging the leg parallel to the floor. And releasing back. Twice more. Exhaling forward. Inhale all the way back, stretching that whole right side of the body. And exhale, close. And release back. Realign your knees, take a rest breath. And we'll work the circles on the other leg. So lifting this left leg up, knee bent to 90 degrees, and taking your circles forward. Not holding the breath, but connecting to the breath in any way that feels comfortable for you at this moment. Inhaling and exhaling. And then when you're ready, pause at the top and reverse the circles. Twice more. And stretching that leg straight out and back, crossing it over the right leg or the right foot there. When you're ready to exhale, we're going to contract the lower abdominals. Exhale and lift this leg parallel to the floor, about shoulder height or somewhere there. And then inhale, stretch it back, stretch the left side of the body. And then exhale, closing in on that left side waist to lift this leg. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, close. Inhale, straight back. One more time. And exhale, close. Coming back to hands and knees. Take a breath in here. When you're ready to exhale, you're going to round the entire spine to shift your hips back and come into child's pose for about 2 breaths, just to take the weight off the wrists and let the wrists relax for a breath or 2. Soften the facial muscles. And on your inhale, you're going to come back up. We're going to lunge the left foot forward. We're going to shift back off of our right knee. And here, at home, if you have an ottoman or stool, or maybe you have a block or 2, or even your shoe boxes, you can use those blocks to help lift the floor up to make sure that we're not collapsing the chest. So we want length through the whole front body. And we're going to release back. And then inhale, come forward. Just a couple of these low lunges. Inhale, keeping the shoulder blades releasing down towards the hips. One more time where we're coming forward and we'll stay in our posture. And you're welcome to stay here, feeling the length all along the right side, that front hip. Maybe having your hands on the blocks and just being here. It's a perfect place to be. If you want to work a little further, you can place your hands lightly on that left knee. And then taking this right hand, you're going to lift it up, breathing in. We'll pause at the top. Exhale, release the arm down. Inhaling up. Exhale, release. And inhaling up. Exhale, release. One more time, we'll leave this arm up overhead for a couple of breaths. With each breath in, see if you can lengthen through the front hip joint, all the way up through your fingertips and down to your knee. One more breath. And you're welcome to stay here, or if you want to work a little bit further to get incorporate a quad stretch here, you can reach behind, take hold of the front of that left or the right ankle, excuse me, and have a couple breaths here. The left hand lightly resting on the left knee, and slowly release back. Now, what we'll do, I'm going to ask you to walk the left foot up, maybe about half a length of your foot, just inching it up there a little bit. And we're going to, on the exhale, come off of that right kneecap. The knee will stay down, but we're just going to come off of the kneecap onto the inside of our knee. And let's shift back with this once more. As we're exhaling, we're coming forward, opening the chest to the corner of our mat. So the chest is not forward because we're on the inside of that knee. We're on a little bit of an angle. We're trying to open this whole inner thigh. Hands lightly resting on the left knee. One more breath. And then shifting back and releasing the left leg, working on to the other side. So take a few repetitions here as we shift forward. Hands on the position that make the most sense for you at this moment in time. Exhale, release back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, release back. Next time we come forward, we'll stay for a couple of breaths. Lengthening out all the way down that whole left side. We'll inhale the left arm up, breathe in. Exhale, release. Inhaling up. Exhale, release. Inhale up. Exhale, release. One more time, and then we'll stay for a few breaths, couple of breaths with the arm up overhead, releasing the hips forward, lengthening the whole left side. And if you like, you're welcome to stay here or reach behind and go into that quad stretch down that left side. Your decision, your choice. Some days this might be accessible for you, and then there's other days where it might not. Slowly release that leg. You don't want it to snap. And then let's walk this right foot up about half a length of your foot. So just inch it up a little bit. And then shift off that back knee, so that you're on the inside of the knee, and then shift the hips forward. And then release back. And then shift the hips forward. Now I'm pointed a little bit more towards the left than I am the front of my mat so that I can stretch the inner left thigh. Rest your hands lightly on that right knee. Shoulders back and down. Chin parallel to the floor, and breathe. One more breath. And shift the hips back. Release yourself to all fours. If it's comfortable for you, I'll ask you to have knees together, feet together. On your exhale, rounding the low back, we'll shift into child's pose for 1 or 2 rest breaths. With the knees close together, you might find that you're stretching more on the outer hips. Rest your forehead down. Shoulders, neck, and face relaxed. And then from here, we're going to come on to our bellies. We're going to take a half of a frog pose where we'll stretch this right leg out. It's going to be on the 90 degrees. So the thigh is 90 degrees out from the hip, thereabout, whatever's comfortable for you. And then there's a 90-degree bend to the knee as well. The left leg is straight, coming straight out of my hip. You can take a look back to ensure that's the direction it has taken, and then release down. So resting the forehead down, isolating the stretch just on the right side, trying to lengthen through that inner thigh from the pubic bone to the inside knee. So see if you can release that inner thigh further towards the floor. It might feel as if you're releasing the right knee away from the hip. Have about 2-3 breaths here. Forehead resting down onto the back of your hands. And just allowing the weight of the body to help open up asymmetrically into the right side. And then switching sides, straightening through this right leg, lifting through the left. Now the left thigh is about 90 degrees coming out from the left side pelvis. 90-degree bend to the left knee. Release the forehead down and work towards opening the left inner thigh. So from the left side of your pubic bone out through the inner knee. A couple more breaths. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly straighten this left leg back behind, pushing yourself up to all fours. Knees wide, maybe as wide as the mat, as we come into child's pose for a counter stretch to the work on the belly. So while in that prone position, it's important to release into child's pose or a similar position to help stretch the back, to help release any accumulating tension. And then we're going to push up, releasing onto our backs. If you have a belt at home, let's have that. So either the belt or maybe even a long towel, a beach towel, a belt off of a robe. And if you don't have anything, you can always, work towards just holding the pant leg. So we're going to place the belt around that right leg, stretching through the right leg to get a little hamstring stretch. Hamstrings have attachment to into the pelvis, so if they're a little bit tight, they might pull on the hips a little bit. So it's important to lengthen the back of the legs. If it's comfortable, you're going to stretch through the left leg, heel to the floor. Left leg is active, right leg is active. You're going to be here for a couple of breaths. And then holding the belt into the right hand, you're going to release the straight leg out to the side. Stretch that left arm out from the shoulder to help stabilize through the left side body. So that left leg is glued to the floor. You're stretching through the inner right leg. One more breath. Then you're going to bring this right leg back up to center. Switch hands. Have the left hand hold on to the belt, and then coming across the body into a twist. The right arm stretch out from the shoulder. Have a couple breaths here. If necessary and for comfort, feel free to bend the right knee slightly. Never wanting to push through any discomfort or strain or stress. Inhaling that leg back up. And we're just going to switch sides. So maybe sneaking that left leg up into the belt as we release the right leg down. So if you need to, you can lift your hips a little bit to realign your spine. Stretch through the right leg, holding the belt in one or both hands as we root down through that right leg and stretch the back of the left leg. Elongating the hamstring. Another breath. And then holding the belt into the left hand, we're going to open the leg out to the left, stretching through your right arm to help stabilize, feeling the right side shoulder blade making contact with the floor. Not holding the breath. On your next exhale, you're going to release this leg up towards the ceiling. Switch hands, belt into the right hand, coming across the body. Again, bending the knee if necessary. Left arm stretched out. Stabilizing the left side upper body. If that left shoulder wants to come up off the floor a little bit, well then allow it to come up off the floor. But otherwise we work towards releasing the left shoulder towards the floor. There's no right or wrong. It's really how you feel at the moment. What access you have at the moment. Never pushing to the point of discomfort, stress, or strain. And inhaling, lifting the leg up. And we're going to release the belt away. Stretching it off, or just tossing it to the side. Crossing your left ankle over the right knee. On your exhale, you're going to release the left foot to the floor in a twist position. Again, working towards keeping the upper back releasing towards the floor if that's comfortable. If you want to increase the stretch a little bit, you're going to inch your right knee, that bottom knee, towards the right arm. And working to stretch the outside of that left hip. Let's be here for a couple more breaths. And then we're going to roll on to our backs. Switching sides, release the left. Right ankle on the left knee. Your next exhale, you're going to release that right foot to the floor. And as you're here for a breath or two, decide if you want to deepen that stretch by walking that bottom knee towards the left arm, so the left knee towards the left arm. Notice where you're feeling this stretch. The right side of the body, the right hip, maybe even into the right side waist. And then you're going to roll onto your back, uncross the legs, lift your hips to realign the spine, arms alongside your body, tuck those shoulders under. We're going to lift one or both of your feet up off the floor. You're going to decide as we move our way into happy baby pose. So you're going to take either the outside of your feet or the inside of your feet, bringing the bent knee in towards the armpit. And you can certainly work one at a time. So you'll decide. So it's actually a deep stretch for the low back as well. Have a few breaths here. Notice on the inhale, when you take a nice deep inhale and the belly and the chest rise, you can almost feel the stretch even into the pelvic floor. Stretching into the pelvic floor. As you exhale, the pelvic floor and your belly, your chest relax. Breathe deep, expanding through chest, belly, pelvic floor. Exhale, soften from pelvic floor to belly to chest. One more breath. And then slowly release your feet one at a time. Take a rest breath here. And to finish, we'll just take a few moments in Supta Baddha Konasana, or bound angle pose, where we're resting the upper back onto the floor and the soles of the feet are together in this butterfly pose. If you want to make it a little bit more restorative, or maybe even to make it more accessible for you, feel free to place a block, a blanket, a pillow underneath the thighs for support. But you can decide for yourself where you want to be for the next few moments. Relax your facial muscles. Soften across the chest, the upper back. And you're welcome to stay in this position for any length of time that feels comfortable for you, another minute or 2 or 3. And then finishing by stretching through the legs straight. And again, you're welcome just to turn off the video and rest in Shavasana for a few more minutes. Otherwise, if you're ready to move on, bend your knees, roll to your side, and push yourself up to a seated position and just sit for a moment. Eyes closed. Connect with the breath. And opening your eyes with that soft gaze straight ahead. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day.